I am Professor Tannecia Stephenson. I'm head of the physics department at the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. I went to St. Aloysius Primary, transitioned to Alpha Academy, where at Alpha we did the sciences, as well as some business, some language literature. One of the things that we have been able to produce for the Caribbean and for Jamaica is something we call the State of the Caribbean Climate and the State of the Jamaica Climate. We did the State of the Jamaica Climate in 2015, and we're doing an update for 2019. And what that document has done for us, it has pulled all the science that we have produced for Jamaica to understand how our weather patterns operate, our climate, what drives our climate, and what are the projections. And so the document, and we have also produced a policymaker, a summary for policymaker, that we have presented to policymakers and have been in discussions with them. What these documents do for us, it has pulled into one place a first stop for anyone seeking to have some kind of understanding in what climate means for Jamaica and also for the region. We have had areas, we have had close engagement, and we have close engagement with the Planning Institute of Jamaica, with ministries. Because what we're seeing is, yes, there is an understanding of the importance of climate change. And so we see climate change frameworks and policies being promulgated. We see our government and our climate change division, the presence of that division also speaks to the seriousness with which climate change is coming on the agenda for our government. And something that the climate change division is also pursuing is developing a plan on what we call a national development plan. Not so much a national development plan, but a national strategy of how we respond to climate change across different sectors. And so I say this to say there is movement within our ministries, within our governments, to position us to better adapt. It's a national adaptation plan. To better adapt, and adapt just means positioning ourselves to deal with the climate change that we are already committed to. And mitigation speaks to how we can reduce the greenhouse gases we put in the atmosphere. These two approaches are being pursued by our government. So you'll see policies emerging dealing with energy and the mix that renewable energies will take up in the energy mix for Jamaica, or in how our country will adapt to climate change. So there is movement within the government circles that suggests to us, yes, climate change is on the agenda, and positioning Jamaica to be more climate resilient is something that our government is signaling is important for them and for our nation. So let's speak to partnerships within responding to climate, within responding to national development goals. Partnerships are crucial, and let me just take climate as the example. So something that we try to remind ourselves of is that in responding to climate change, everyone needs to get on board. And so not only is there a role for government, but there's a role for individuals, there's a role for businesses, for private sector engagement. There's a role for communities, and you'll see a number of community-based efforts in building resilience, in using sustainable agriculture, in dealing with water harvesting. There are a lot of community activities to position communities to better respond to climate change. In essence, we all have a part to play. And so what you find out as well is, one, as the Climate Change Division pursues a national adaptation plan and the drafting of such a plan, one of their partners will be private sector, because there is a recognition that the private sector partnership is crucial for our country's response to climate change. Within our private sector, it's that uptake of renewable energy technologies or improved energy technologies, and that's important in us reaching our mitigation goals. It is positioning businesses to better use energy or better use water, because one of the critical areas for climate and for our region is water. Will we have enough water in the future? The projections, what our research tells us, is that the summer period would be a lot drier. On average, each year, we're going to be getting less rainfall. If the vision is for a drier Caribbean, how are we positioning ourselves to deal with water? We say all of that to say there's importance in all of us partnering to respond to climate change. As we deal with water, one of the things we have done as a department is to develop a real-time water quality monitoring system. So wherever you are in Jamaica, if that system is installed in a riverbed, if that system is installed in a reservoir, it is able to give you in near real time what is going on with temperature, salinity, pH, acidity. And so you can monitor that in real time. The system is set up so that once certain thresholds that we predefined are set up, once those thresholds are exceeded, a warning is sent to the person who is monitoring. We're saying all of that to say, as our universities develop these kinds of systems, we need public and private sector partnerships to roll out these kinds of systems. As our university thinks of innovations, and we have some coming on stream that you'll hear more about in the future. We have our conference coming up in August 10 to 12, a conference that is a partnership across all the universities, your Cave Hill in Barbados, St. Augustine in Trinidad, partnership with the University of Technology, Jamaica, because we all bring something to the table. All of us will be meeting in August 10 to 12, for our science conference. And at this conference, you're going to see not only the research underway, but you're going to see some of the technologies that the universities have themselves developed to help our region. And so something that will come out of that engagement is opportunities for partnership. And we're really hoping that some members of our private sector will participate in the conference, because we will showcase what our universities are able to do for national development, but even for your own businesses, whatever you want to accomplish, we can be partners alongside you.